Good morning. It is super early here in Dubai, but I want us to watch the sun rise together because it's a very important part of what we're going to go through today. And this part is the last part of the whole thing. So we're going to do this first, and then I'm going to go have some breakfast and come back and show you exactly what this is. Okay, so let's start by giving you some context about what this actually is, because this is not a normal trading video that I normally do on this channel. This channel has basically nothing to do with trading, and it's all about manifesting the life that you want in 2023. So before I get into that, I'm just going to explain why we're here and why I'm actually doing this video. If you only know me from YouTube, then you probably only know the trading side of me, and you only know my life really since the beginning of 2022, probably first quarter was when I started taking YouTube seriously. So I haven't really been on here many months. However, a lot of the people that follow me in my community or on my other social media have known my life from, a fair few years ago when I was still learning to trade to where it is now, and they've seen the evolution for themselves. So the reason that this came about is because I very strongly believe in manifestation, but I believe in doing it a certain way. I am quite an analytical person, being a trader, but I'm also very spiritual. So I have kind of a method that combines both of those, that, is a practical physical thing, but also a lot of spirituality and belief and things like that combine together to kind of satisfy my left brain and my right brain. So the reason that this came about is because I came up with this method of a New Year's manifestation that I have been doing for years now. And the more and more I do it, the more and more I get everything that I manifest every year. And this year I probably came the closest to almost everything that was on my board. I do this New Year's Eve every year. It has to be done on New Year's Eve, not before, not after. It's a very, very important ritual, I will call it. One of the things that was on my board for this year was to be able to fly first class to Dubai. Not sure if you can see that building behind me. It's kind of a bit bright, so it's hard to see, but I am in Dubai and I did come here first class, so I made it just in time to manifest that. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the last part of the manifestation has a lot to do with your environment. So you need to stay with me all the way to the end to get this full method. And if this is something that you want to do for yourself, be sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, but also just save it, because you're probably going to need to come back to this a few times because there is a lot to do. Not only that, sharing is caring. So if there's someone that you know who you think also needs to do something like this for 2023, be sure to share this video on your social media and help as many people as we can. So let's get into it. Now, as I mentioned, there are two parts to this. One is the physical, what we're physically going to actually do, and the other is the emotional. Now, you cannot do one and not the other. The second part is the most important part, and those are basically creating new beliefs that you have to take with you into the entire new year, not just doing it on New Year's Eve. It has to become a new way of thinking. So we will get into that, but just keep that in mind, that this is basically a change in the way you're going to treat yourself from this moment forward. Now, the most important thing about this exercise is that this is your chance to dream big, and I mean big. This is you setting a new standard for your life. Don't let those negative thoughts of this isn't realistic, or that happens to other people, not to me, or that's not going to be possible. Those thoughts have to go, and you have to dream big. The reason for that is because we're only doing this once a year, so why not? You don't know where your life is going to go in a year's time. But B, it also came from a story that I heard from Oprah Winfrey, which I'm going to tell you now. Many, many, many years ago, she came out to Australia, and she did like a live, inspirational thing. And I went with a friend. One of the stories that I remember from that was she was talking about her childhood and how she grew up really, not very wealthy, but she had a best friend who was quite wealthy. And she would often go to her friend's house, and every time she went there, she just noticed that out the front of her friend's house, in the front garden, she had these 8 big, beautiful trees. And that became the symbolism for Oprah Winfrey, that if you want to be rich, like the standard of rich to her was you have a front yard with 8 big, beautiful trees. So she grew up her whole life into her adulthood wishing that she could have a house with 8 big, beautiful trees, right? And her life went on, and she went on to do the Oprah show and whatnot. And eventually she retired, and I think it's a ranch that she lives on now. And one day she's in her kitchen and she's washing her dishes. She had totally forgotten about this dream, this vision that she had, but she's washing the dishes and she looks out, and her kitchen overlooks her front garden. And she looks out and she starts to count the trees. And she's like, oh my goodness, I have 8 trees in my front yard. And she's thinking to herself, I made it. This was my definition of wealth as a child. I've got my 8 trees in my front yard. I've made it. And then as she looks beyond that, she realizes that she lives on many acres. I don't know how many. And in fact, she had thousands of trees, to the point where she actually went and got her gardener to count her trees. And it was something like 8,000 trees that she had. And the point of the story was, never ever be afraid to dream big for yourself, because no matter what you dream of for your life, the universe always has something bigger in store for you. So challenge the universe, dream big, and see what will get delivered to you. And this is our opportunity to do it. Now, there are other manifestations and things like that I do during the year that are a little bit more realistic, but they break it down into smaller chunks that kind of allow me to put a plan in place to make this bigger one eventually a reality. Because at the end of the day, you can't just manifest and do nothing after that, right? You have to do something to make your dreams come true. So that's a whole separate video. We won't get into that for this video. This video is just setting our intention for 2023 and setting the standard for how we want to live our life. In this process, in this video, we are going to retrain your brain to believe that you already have it. And we want you going into the new year with that retrained brain. So New Year's Eve, when it's fresh, when that clock hits midnight. All right, so let's get into the physical steps, because that's really the easy part. And we're going to start with covering the 8 areas of life. Now, the reason that I did this is because I have had times in my life where I've really wished for one thing, and the universe has given me that one thing, and something else in my life fell over. And so overall, I ended up still being miserable or whatever. And then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm going to be more specific, and I'm going to cover every area of my life so that I can have a balanced level of abundance, right? So those 8 areas are, I'll go through them with you now, but I'm also going to put them up on the screen so that you know what they are, and you have to include the 8 areas of life in every one of the following steps after this. So the first area is career or purpose. Now, they can be the same thing or they can be different, but basically, what do you want to do for your life? Like, what do you want your career to be? What do you want your purpose to be? Maybe your purpose has nothing to do with a career, or maybe your career has nothing to do with your purpose. They can be 2 very different things. For example, my career is teaching people how to trade and trading myself. My purpose, which may never happen, I don't know, but I want to contribute in some way towards poverty no longer being a thing. The next area of life is finance / wealth. So how are you going to build your net worth? It could be monetary, it could be crypto, like whatever, any way that you see a wealth goal for yourself. Usually a number's going to be important. We're going to get into it, but you have to think about numbers, and then you have to think about where those numbers are going to come from. The next one is friends and family. Now in this area, it could be that you want to get a family, maybe you want to start having children or whatever. It could be that you wish something for your current friends, like you might, I don't know, just wish more abundance on them. Or maybe you want a whole set of new friends because the friends you have just aren't supporting the person that you're becoming. Maybe you just are happy with your family. You just want them to stay happy and healthy. Number 4 is recreation and fun. So what do you enjoy doing that you just simply don't do enough of? Or what do you want to try that you may enjoy? Or something that you want to take up that maybe you used to do that was fun that you're not doing anymore, things like that. Something that's not always work related or goal related or creating income related, like what brings you joy. Then we move into number 5, which is health and fitness. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean go to the gym, which is probably the easy one to put on there, but it could just, it could be something as simple as I want to go for a walk 4 days a week, or I want, if you have some sort of illness, I want that illness to be cured, anything like that. Or if you're happy with the way you are, just want to maintain my current level of physical fitness and my health. It's usually the one that you put off the most because it's the one that involves taking care of yourself first, not others. And so something that you know that you really should be doing to have a healthy mind, body, and spirit, and you're just not doing it. Then we move into love and relationships. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationship. It's any kind of relationship. For example, the one that I had on my list for 2022 was to fall in love with myself, because I was always putting myself down. I felt old, I felt ugly, unattractive. Like I just felt like that's it. Like I'm done with my physical appearance. And I just was really horrible to myself. So my 2022 was like, just be nicer to yourself, and definitely achieve that. So it could be that your relationship with yourself, relationship with family, maybe it is someone you love. They can also be business relationships. Do you want to have a partnership with someone? Do you want to go into business with someone? Do you want to do a joint venture? Do you want to do a collaboration? Like, anything like that. It could even be, say you have a business and you want to sell it, you'll want to find a buyer, right? So that's a partnership at that point in time. So anything like that falls under love and relationships. Then we have physical environment, which is my favorite one, because it's where you spend your life, like every day, or what you're going to do at some point throughout 2023. Physical environment is where you are. Again, it has a lot to do with why I'm in Dubai right now, which we'll get into. But how do you want to live? What do you want your home to look like? Do you want to buy a home, or do you want to improve your current home? Do you want to move countries? Do you want to move states? Do you want to move suburbs? Things like that. And then finally, we have personal and spiritual development. So is there something that you want to do to improve on the knowledge that you have right now? Or is there knowledge that you want to get that you don't currently have? Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to study that you just have never made the time to study. Or maybe there's something that you may feel that you have a certain level of understanding, but you want to increase that understanding. It can be personal, as far as, educational, something that's going to help your career, something that's just going to help you as a person, or it can be spiritual. Do you want to, learn to tap into being able to speak to the angels and understand the messages that are sent to you? Do you want to understand philosophy? Do you want to understand a religion? Anything, like it's completely up to you. So those are the 8 areas of life. Now you must have something filled in for every single area for the next steps that we're going to do. And I will put that on the screen so that you can make sure you have all of those covered. Now, when it comes to manifesting, there's always something that we believe in. It's completely up to you who that's going to be. So it can be your angels. It can be a religious leader in whatever religion that you are. It can be the universe. It can be yourself. Like it can literally be anything, which at the end of the day, the universe is yourself, but they just don't tell you that, because they know that if you realize that you are your universe, humans are generally not nice to themselves. So they will sabotage. So by believing that there is a universe, an outer entity that helps you in your life, you're going to be much kinder and have much more gratitude for that. So at the end of the day, it's still you. It's all you. For me, who I manifest to is my angels and my dad, who has passed away. And I definitely have felt very guided ever since he did leave. The next part, now that we know our 8 areas of life, for me, I always start my manifestations with gratitude. And the reason that I do that is because I think of my angels, my dad, the universe, I think of them as if they were a human, right? And if I was a needy person always asking for things, I would if someone was doing that to me, I'd get annoyed. So I always start with gratitude. It puts me in a good place. It makes me recognize my surroundings, what I have around me that I've already achieved and should be grateful for. And that puts me in a very good mindset. But also I just feel like it's saying, it's kind of like the sandwich effect, the girls know what the sandwich effect is, but it's like, just saying, hey, listen, I recognize what you've given me so far and I'm grateful for it. And before you do anything else. So I do that because I want to respect my angels. And again, this isn't a religious thing, like whatever you believe to be the entity that helps you is who you're going to thank. So I want you to grab a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, you are going to give gratitude for one thing for each area of that 8 areas of life. So one thing you're grateful for to do with your health and fitness, one thing you're grateful for to do with your current financial situation, one thing you're grateful for to do with your friends and family, one thing you're grateful for recreation fun, etc., until you've got one thing for all 8 of those things on one sheet of paper. It doesn't need to be a long paragraph, a sentence or 2 is enough. And they can be super simple things. The main thing is you don't get to an area and think, oh, I don't have anything to be grateful for in this area. That's a negative thought. Everybody has something, if you dig deep enough, to be grateful for in each of those areas. And you need to think positively with gratitude and abundantly. You have something. It can be as simple as, say for physical environment, I'm so grateful that I wake up with a roof over my head every day. Simple as that. And so that is how every sentence has to start. I'm so grateful that, continue on with each category. Now, if you need to pause here because you want to do this as you're watching this video, pause now, do those 8 things, and then grab that sheet of paper and just put it to the side. We're going to come back to it later. Now, the next thing is going to grab a new sheet of paper. You're going to need 3 sheets of paper in total. This is sheet number 2. Sheet number 2 is our letting go manifestation. So it's the things that have not served you in 2022 that you cannot bring forward with you into 2023 if you want to achieve these big vision goals. So we must first let go of what no longer serves us, but at the same time, you have to be grateful for it, because every challenge that comes to you in life comes to you as a lesson, and that challenge will stay with you until you've learned the lesson. So if there are things that are still currently challenging you, you're not paying attention to what the lesson is in that thing. Be grateful for it. So we're going to still show gratitude in this one. We're going to say, thank you for this challenge. However, I'm ready to leave it now. So you're going to, again, go through all the 8 areas of life, and you're going to say, thank you for teaching me whatever it is in that category. I'm ready to let it go. Go to the next category. Thank you for teaching me whatever it is. I'm ready to let it go. Do that for all 8 things. Once you've done that, grab that piece of paper, put it aside. Again, press pause now if you want to do that bit, and come back once you finished it. All right, now this is the fun one. So this is the 3rd one, your 3rd piece of paper. And this one is the one where we're going to invite what we want to come into our life in 2023. Now, the key to this one is you have to write it in the present tense. And the reason that we're going to do that is because our brains don't know the difference between reality and basically daydreaming. So we're going to trick our brains into believing that these things that we want, we already have. So it's very, very important that the sentences you write for this particular page are written in the present tense. So you're going to write your sentence like this. I'm so grateful that, category. For example, I'm so grateful that I make $1 million a year. I'm so grateful that I take 3 overseas holidays a year. I'm so grateful that I have a child. Whatever it is, just write it in the present tense. That's your last sheet of paper. Again, pause if you need to, then we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so now you've got your 3 sheets of paper. I need you to grab the second one, the one that was about letting go. Grab that sheet of paper, fold it up, put it in a bowl, and burn it. Yep, burn it. Why? Because you're done with that energy now. So we want to release it and let it go. Once you have burnt it and it has turned to ash, you need to take that ash and throw it in the rubbish outside of your home. Not later, not I'll just leave it here for now and do it. No. You've burnt it now. Get it out of your home immediately. The rubbish bin in the front yard, fine, but not the rubbish bin in your home. Get it outside of the home. Once you've done that, I go an extra step. I come back, I wash the bowl. I want to make sure there's not even a speck of that ash left. So if you want to go that far, it's up to you. But we want that one gone. And sometimes if you want, you can throw in a sentence. I often do that. Like at the time that I'm throwing it in the bin, I'll just say it is done. Like it's done. I'm done. See you later. Cut it off at the knees. It's up to you if you want to do something like that. But I'm just like, it's done. Bye. Okay, now with the other 2 sheets, you're going to fold them up into whatever, doesn't really matter, just fold them up, and you want to put them somewhere where you're going to remember that they are, because they're going to stay there for a whole year, but not somewhere where it's going to get in the way of what you do. So for example, mine, I have a a little Louis Vuitton jewelry box that sits in the behind me when I'm live streaming from home, sits there as a decoration. I never really need to touch it, and it's sitting inside that box. So for you, just, yeah, somewhere where it's not going to get in the way, you're going to have to constantly move it around and potentially accidentally throw it out, but it's, you know, it's there, but you don't ever need to move it. You're not going to need to look at this again for the whole year. You do want to pull this out at the end of 2023, but not really before. Okay, so once you've done all of that, all of the pre-work is done, and we're now ready to get into the vision board. The vision board is where you do the massive thinking, the massive dreaming, the things that maybe don't feel possible, but you're not even going to put that in your head. Because the reality is you can have whatever you want. If you were to think about someone now who's living the life now that you want in your future, then you have to ask yourself, why them? Why not me? Why not you? It's just the way that you frame the sentence. Why not me? Feeling down for yourself, or why not me? Why not you? Right? What's different between that person and you? Nothing. If they got it, you can get it. And that's why I want you to dream big, but you have to also be specific. So for example, let's just say on your third sheet of paper, under the finance and wealth, you wrote, I'm so grateful that I'm a millionaire. On your vision board, you're going to get specific. How many millions does it take for you to consider yourself to be a millionaire? Where are they? Are they all in dollars in a bank account? Are they in property? Are they in crypto? Is it split up? No worries. How many properties? What's the value of each one? Some of it's in crypto. No worries. How many Bitcoin? So the sheet of paper was the beginning of what you want, the big dream goal, but the vision board is the specifics of that big dream goal. So for your vision board, you need to have a good mix of numbers, words, and pictures. This is really, really important because our brain receives messages in different ways. First of all, you're going to put this vision board somewhere where you will walk past it every day. Now, you don't have to consciously look at it. Your subconscious is going to register. And so I have mine in my office where I have to walk past to get to the desk to do my live streams. So I subconsciously see it every single day. And on that, I've got my words, my numbers, my pictures. And this is all part of tricking the brain. You want your brain to walk past that luxury holiday. You want your brain to walk past that supercar, walk past that country you want to live in. Like, you want your brain to walk past that every day and trick it into believing you that's where you are. You already have it. So the first thing you need to do is divide your board up into 8 pieces. Now, I don't actually recommend that you do this digitally. With me being in Dubai this year over New Year's, I'm going to have to do mine digitally, but I'm going to have it printed when I get back home, and I'm definitely going to put it back in my office, but I don't recommend you do it digitally. You need to go through the exercise and the process. And the reason for that is because whilst you are cutting out pictures and whilst you're typing up words and cutting everything up and placing it on your board how you want to do it, all of these things are sending thoughts and visions into your brain of like, how good is it going to feel when I get this stuff at the end of the year? It's all part of the process, and it takes a good few hours to source the right pictures for the dreams that you have, and, you know, print everything out so it all fits. And you need those good few hours because they're all part of that emotional tie that you need towards this manifestation. So for each area, I want you to think of 1 to 3 big things. Meaning, again, let's just use the finance and wealth one because it's an easy one. 1 to 3 big things. So if you said, again, same example, I'm going to be a millionaire, your 3 things could be how many millions. So you would, you know, let's just say you want 8 million, you would have it written 8 million. Sometimes what I do is Google picture image 8 million, and it just comes up with this big thing of cash, you know, like those big square things of cash. Okay, that adds up to 8 million. I'll take that picture and put it on my board. The number of whatever it is for you, a bank account, you know, you can Photoshop bank account balance to show how much you want in the bank, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, how many you want of that. And one really good one to do, if you have a checkbook, I know like nobody has checkbooks these days, but if you have a checkbook, write a check to yourself. The reason that that is so good is because it's a promise from you to you. So you write a check from yourself for however many millions or whatever you want, and then sign it. And then when you put the reason, how did you get it? Like, was it from trading? Was it from your career? Did you sell property? Like, whatever. And even if you don't have a checkbook, like, you can Google a check and you can Photoshop it. So just Google picture image search everything you want, but be really specific. Like, to give you an example, It was always my dream to go to Dubai. So I printed out a picture of the palm, and I also wanted to fly first class because I've never flown first class. So I printed out a picture of first class cabin thing, whatever it was, and those went under physical environment for me. If it's something that's personal that you can't Google picture search, like for example, say you want more adventures with your friends, grab a picture of your actual friends doing something fun and put that picture there because you want to invite more of what you considered fun that time you're with them. You want to invite more of that. If you want to be a certain dress size, find an actress or a singer or someone who has that dress size, put a picture of them on there. Be really specific. Those are all the physical things that you have to do. Once you have finished your vision board, you've got your 8 labels for everything. And under that label, you've got pictures of 1 to 3 things in each category. On top of those pictures, you also have words. I'll insert an example in here just to be really, really clear, but you've got words that describe those pictures. Once you've done all of that, this is where the emotional feeling comes in. You need to step back, have a look at that big picture vision board and take it all in. And you need to sit there for a moment as if it's already done. The thing with manifestation that most people don't tell you is, or when you're just learning, is you ask for what you want or you think about what you want and then you leave it there and then it never happens. For me, the second part is the most important part, and that's belief. You have to believe that it's going to happen without a doubt in your mind. You have to believe it's done. It's done. You put it on the board, just like we throw out the ash. It's done. It's a thing. This is what I always say to myself, especially when sometimes you have negative people around you who will be like, oh, are you sure about that, Annie? And I'll just say, it's done. I'm just waiting for time to catch up. That should become your favorite sentence. Anytime you have negative thoughts or negative friends or negative family and tell you can't do something, oh, it's already done. I'm just waiting for time to catch up. Literally my favorite sentence in the world. And so that's the feeling you need to have when you step back and have a look at your vision board. You need to look at it all. It's done. It's out there, already done. Look back, feel it, take it all in. Imagine you already have these things. What does it feel like? Who's around you? Who's part of it? Are you happy? Do you recognize it? Number one thing, because a lot of the time when you manifest, you don't always get things in the way that you specifically describe. It may come to you in another way that is more meant for you. And sometimes it can pass you by for that reason. And once you've sat there and you've taken it all in for a few minutes, like often I'll actually feel it in my third eye. I'll actually feel like it feels like the sun shining rays on you. Like if you do this properly, it should just bring this overwhelming smile over your face, like the kind of smile that, like if you read a really funny joke and you're out in public and you just start laughing and everybody else looks at you like you're crazy, like that's the smile you should have. Otherwise, you haven't done this right. And then once you've done that, you need to finish it with this sentence, which goes like this. Thank you, universe, angels, whatever you want it to be. Thank you, universe, for this life. Whatever word you want to insert, amazing, abundant, fruitful, happy, whatever the word is for you, completely up to you. I say abundant. Thank you, angels, for this abundant life. It's done, but we're not done. So we've done the physical. We have to deal with the emotional now moving forward. And this has to become a new daily practice for you because like I said, a lot of the time people manifest, but they don't believe. We need to get you believing. So from this day forward, you must protect your energy. If you're having negative thoughts, flick it off. That's not for me. I'm done with that. Thank you, universe, for this life. When you wake up, if you can make it a habit when you wake up to have a grateful thought the second you wake up, you watch how your days change from now on. You wake up. Thank you, universe, for this home. Thank you, universe, for my sleep. Find something to be grateful for the second you wake up. If something good happens to you that day, thank you, universe, for that thing. When you feel like complaining, stop yourself, flick it off. Thank you, universe, for whatever. When you start to think like this, you'll start to see that a lot of the times the things that you complain about are really not that big a deal. And sometimes you just lash. And the reality is it's really not even that bad. And that's such an amazing life to live, is when you're just like, and I think it's very important for trading as well, by the way. If you miss a trade, it's going to be another one. It's not the end of the world. Best place to come from, because then you stop chasing money. When I get a good car spot, Thank you, angels, for this car spot. When I don't have to wait in queue, thank you, angels, for no queue. Like, it is so easy to find things to be grateful for every day. So easy. But our brain is wired to think something has to be wrong. I have to get angry about something. I'm going to be treated badly with this customer service, so I'm just going to lash out before they lash out back at me. Not really. Like, you can have a good day. You choose it. It's your choice. And speak in everything as if it is done. I'll give you an example. Last week I was in Gold Coast. We had an amazing time, me and my friend. Comes time to leave, we just had normal seat. In the Uber on the way to the airport, she says, I hope we get a free upgrade. I said, you know what? We're going to get an upgrade. You know what happened? We get to the thing. They go to scan our ticket to walk on the plane. The lady says, would you like extra leg room? I can move you both to another seat. And we're like, yup. And she said, you know what? It's a row of 3. I'm going to mark out the middle so that no one sits in there and you can have all 3 seats to yourself. Manifested. Why? Because I said I was going to get it done. I was going to have it. And I had it. Another one. As you guys know, if you watch this channel, I love getting facials. It's just a thing. I really love it. Every time I go away, I want to take advantage of the day spa. If it's not a facial or massage, I want to do that. Here, where I'm staying right now, one of my friends told me it's the best facials you can get. I unfortunately was busy, left it too late to book. They didn't have anything. Was really annoyed, couldn't fit in. It booked out till the end of January. I get here, I check in. I thought, I'm just going to check one more time. Go online, still booked out to the end of January. And I thought, you know what? I want it. I want to have a treatment here. I've heard it's the best. So I decided to email through the website and I said, look, I know that you guys are fully booked. I just want to let you know I'm here until this date. And if you get any last minute cancellations, I'll come straight away. I'll take the appointment. I don't care what it is. I just want to have a treatment. Within 2 minutes, they wrote back and said, what's your availability? Now, I ideally wanted to have it tonight after the sunset because I want to watch the sunset, but I didn't want to be picky because I want my service. So I said, anytime tomorrow, anytime next day, whatever you can fit in. She said, how's tomorrow, 7 p.m.? You want to know what time the sun sets tonight? Let me show you. Look at that. 5:39, sunset. Perfect timing. Going to get my sunset, get my facial, have my dinner. Perfect. Perfect evening. But that's the thing. I manifested. I believed I was going to get it. And then I took action. Those are the 3 things. Now, I could have gone, it's not fair. They're booked out. I'm not going to try. You could have done all of that. But the more you invite this negativity into your mind, the more you're going to get more of that negativity. It has to go. No, you can do this. You can have what you want. There's no reason why you can't have what you want. You want to complain instead? Shut up. Shut up. Don't complain. Don't be a complainer. Nobody likes a complainer. It's not the end of the world. Find a good quality in whatever it is that you want to complain about. Just relax. Now, before I move on to the last part, I know this is being a pretty long video, but it's just a very, very important ritual. Before I move on to the end, I just want to bring you back to that Oprah story about the universe always wanting more for you than you can want for yourself. Here's the other part to that. Sometimes you don't really want what you think you want, or sometimes you think you want something that is not actually good for you. The thing about manifesting is that you have to put it out there what you want. You have to believe, and then you have to let it go. Because what you need to realize is that the what and the why, that part's up to you. The how is not up to you. So your manifestations, the things that you put out there, they might get delivered to you in a different way. Watch my last vlog where I talked about the supercar being delivered in a Formula One instead of actually owning a supercar. What you want might get delivered to you in a different way. But you have to be open to always recognizing that and being grateful for it when it comes in a different way to what you expected. Because if you can't do that and these things are delivered to you by the universe and you let it pass you by, then you're not going to be grateful, are you? And if you're not grateful, you don't invite more into your life. And then you essentially become negative and you say, this doesn't work and da, 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 da. It's so important. This is how you have to retrain the way that you think from the day you do this to the rest. You have to notice when you're being negative. No, thank you, angels, for this life. And if something doesn't happen, you have to be okay with that too. Still, thank you for this. It wasn't meant to be this time. If a year goes by and you still really want that thing, put it on your board for next year. Maybe next year will be your time. But be okay. You have to let go. Don't forget, you're going to walk past it every day. Your subconscious has already programmed it. You physically have to let it go. Why? Because if you consciously think about it all the time, you will try to control it. And when you try to control it, you're trying to be responsible for the how. But remember, the how's not up to you. So you have to let it go. Another saying that I always say that I absolutely love, what belongs to me will simply find me. Let it go. You want to win $10 million tax lotto? What belongs to me will simply find me. That's it. Let it go. You have to release this desire to hang on to hope. Don't look at your board and go, I hope I get these. That's a negative thought. No. It's done. You're just waiting for time to catch up. Okay. Now the last part that ties all of this together, New Year's Eve. It is so important that on this day, you be somewhere that represents something on that board. Now you know why I'm in Dubai and why we watch the sunrise together. I want to move to Dubai potentially, and this is my trial life. I'm here for a month to see if that's actually going to be the right decision for me. So New Year's Eve coming up, I booked my ticket and I got here so that I could be here. Now, yes, I'm an extreme human and you don't have to, if you want to live in another country, you don't have to go book yourself a ticket now and be there. This isn't the first time I've done this. I did this a couple of years ago when last minute I decided I needed inspiration in my life. Where was the most inspiring place in the world? New York. I wanted to go watch the ball drop. It's been covered in so many movies. It was a thing. I turned up there a day before. I Googled it. I read you had to go line up from 3 p.m. It was raining. It was cold. I was dripping wet, standing sandwiched into millions of people all wanting to watch the ball drop. I'll insert some pictures. It was freaking crazy, but I'm extreme. You don't have to be extreme. Whatever your dream is, let me give you an example. You want your dream house next year? Go drive down the streets of the suburb that you want to live in and have a look at the for sale signs. Act as if you're driving past to take a picture of the house you just bought. Just drive down the street. Make time to do that. If you want your dream house in an area that is like not in the same state or the same country as where you live, that's okay. Find a street that is similar to where you want to live and go drive down that. It doesn't have to be exact. Another example, say you have a dream to get married. I mean, probably going to be hard to get a date on New Year's Eve. I don't know, but you don't have to do that. Watch a romantic movie, your favorite romantic movie. Put yourself in the environment that is on your vision board as best you can. The other part to that is stay away from negativity. Today's your day. Don't do the obligatory, got to go hang out with friends, family. If there's someone around there that brings you negative energy, sorry, I don't feel well. I'm staying home. Be selfish today. It's so important because who you spend time with or where you are on New Year's Eve is what you will spend the rest of the year with. So it's so important who you give your energy to on this day. If you have a nagging friend that wants to hang out with you and you're just over it, don't do that because you feel bad. Be selfish today. It's okay. If you absolutely cannot get out of it, do that negative thing early in the morning, then come back and do your vision board next. Don't do the negative thing after the vision board because you spent all this time reprogramming your brain that everything you're looking at is already done. You can't step backwards. You have to step forward. So don't feel bad. You don't owe anyone anything today. Live for you today. Make sure that you are representing this new life in some way on New Year's Eve. Pretending is so fun for your brain. It doesn't know the difference. You absolutely have to do this last part. Why? Because it's A, fun. B, we're rewiring our brain to think it's already done. We're just waiting for time to catch up. And C, it's inspiring. It's inspiring to actually think about what's possible. And it makes you want to strive to achieve those things. And the main thing here is belief. Why not you? And that is it. You go into the new year with this new thought process and this new life that is coming to you by the end of the year because it's already done and time just needs to catch up. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to this channel, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this, and also Don't forget, if you've made it all the way to the end and you think somebody else needs to do this in your life this New Year's Eve as well, be sure to share this video on your social media. Let's help get it around and help create an abundant life for as many people as possible in 2023. I'm going to finish this video off with a little bit of a room tour, and I'll catch you next time. Let's do a quick room tour. I'm staying at the Address Skyview in Dubai. This is my little dressing room where I can do my hair, etc. And then we move out here into the bathroom. I had a really nice bath earlier, shower, etc. Into my little work area for where I will live stream, and the bedroom. And then out here, that is the view. Oh my God, I'm not even joking. Look at what is right at the top of the Burj. Look.